Hi, I'm Lauren Rivers, and today I'm doing a suit-up video of Anna Reschen, my wolf. Anna originally began life as part of a different project, and the project eventually was shelved. But when Blue Moon came around, she was repurposed for the werewolf story. And originally she was a scientist, but when she transitioned to the new project, she effectively became a medical doctor. And since I already had the suit, it gave me a perfect excuse to reuse the character for something else. So the suit is, I guess, basically what I would define as a patchwork suit because the pieces came from a couple of different sources as opposed to just getting them from a single maker. The head was designed by Scribblefox, built by Northwest Furry Productions, or I think they might have still been going under that at the time. And the bodysuit came from a company that I think no longer exists called Darkstone Realms. Back in the early days of fursuit production, they were responsible for a lot of basic starter suits because they would produce a fairly generic furry costume for somewhere around $1,000, maybe a little less depending on what you were looking for. They weren't anything hugely special. There were a lot of heads with foam that were shoulder sitters, and they had bodies without padding, but they were a pretty good company as far as, especially back then when there weren't as many custom makers, and they would produce a basic costume for a fairly reasonable price. So it was a good place to get started, especially for back at the time. But Anna came from both of those sources. Her body has no actual padding other than a little bit for the breasts that are kind of sewn in, but they don't really provide a lot of definition. And the tail is attached, so that doesn't require a belt. It has a back zipper, which has some Velcro that covers the flap that conceals the actual part of the zipper. It's a fairly loose suit on me, not super tight, but it's not super baggy either. I guess I just call it comfortable. And for the most part, the body is still the same body that I originally used. A lot of the times these days, if I'm dressing her, I guess you might call it civilian style. She has a black underdress, which is part of a larger ensemble. It's very silky. I kind of like that it just hangs loose. I think it really works with her character because it's kind of classy, but it's not really all that complicated. And I tend to favor conservative clothing when I'm dressing Anna, just because especially with fursuit characters that wear clothes, they kind of develop, I guess, a wardrobe language, and Anna usually seems to fit well with conservative styles. I kind of like to dress her in something, I guess, that looks nice. I don't really know how to describe it, but nothing really slinky, nothing really showy, but just nice outfits. And this particular underdress came with a striped jacket, which I always kind of like to wear with it because it sort of seems like the accent that just completes the look. It's a fairly simple outfit, but it really fits her well, I think. Every now and then, I'll also alternate Anna wearing a lab coat because her character originally was a scientist, and I guess it still fits her as a doctor. Or alternatively, I sometimes have a simple black dress with a blue sash for a little bit of splash of color. The feet paws, there's really not much to them. They're just they slip over your socks or your shoes, but they don't have any significant structure to them. They're loose. They don't have any real padding. So, they're not really good in terms of being outside. They're mostly, I guess you might call them indoor feet. I think they're intended to be worn over shoes, but I don't usually like to wear shoes on the inside of them. So typically if I just wear them, I'll wear them around indoors. And I just wear socks to cover the inside. The head is a hard plastic shell, which was riveted together from Scribblefox. The detail is gorgeous. Same maker that originally made my zigzag head. But the head, I love the hair. It doesn't really work well for styling, so it's kind of you can't really do much with it. I guess it feels like a little brittle, and well, not brittle, but you can't style it, I guess is the bottom line. And see, other than with the head, just slip it on. It's got a moving jaw, which is kind of tricky because unlike some of the other ones, it takes a lot of effort to actually get it to move. And the last thing that I put on is the hand paws, which, they just slip on. There's no fasteners or anything to attach it to, and they don't really slide into the sleeves that much. But they're basic paws. They got I guess they're either rubber or something soft for the actual claw material. And once I have that on, that's the entire suit. So that's the costume. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, click the subscribe button and leave a comment below. You can also find me on Twitter and a few other places on the web, or support me via Patreon or Ko-fi. Zebra hugs!